Hello. So today we're going to be doing some tarot readings. We're going to be looking at, since it was the full moon yesterday and it was in Capricorn, we're looking at, what things are practical in our lives, like what goals do we have, what are we trying to do, in regards to, getting these goals met. And so today we're going to be looking at these things like, for a lot of us, there's certain mistakes we made or certain things that we could have done different. And we're kind of worried about that now. We're thinking like, okay, can we still reach our goals? And yes, the answer is yes, of course you can. But it is going to take action on your part, right? And it's going to take you to kind of be aware of these things. So we're going to look at that for you guys. Not all hope is lost here. And there's certain obstacles as well. There's certain things that need to be paid attention to as we move toward 2022, and we're trying to look at what those things are, basically. Okay, so because the influence of the full moon is still with us, we're going to be looking at what practical things we can actually do to attain these goals to still get what we want by the end of the year and by the beginning of the new year. And it really is up to you, you guys, so don't forget that. Don't forget that it is up to you. But everybody, it's going to be different. So we're going to look at what things you need to focus on the most for your personal situation and how you can still get where you want to be. And you don't have to be, feeling like you lost out or like you're not, getting what you wanted. You can still get those things. It's just there's some obstacles to overcome here. And it's going to be different for everyone, so we're going to take a look at that. You guys, if you get a chance, please like this video and subscribe as well if you haven't already. And I will be taking personal questions as well, and donations, of course, will be going first. So look in the description for all of that information. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay. So do you guys have goals that you feel like all hope is lost? Do you guys feel like you can't get to that point now? Like where we're at in the year? Do you feel like, oh, I'm screwed, like I've already fucked up enough and I can't get what I wanted out of that? I just have to kind of like forget about it? Is that happening for you guys? Because you definitely don't need to forget about it. Okay. So we're going to look at your guys' personal situation. Everyone's going to be different, of course. If you would like a reading right away, definitely you can donate. All the information is in the description for that. I'm going to be a little more thorough with these readings, so some of you may not want to like wait, but if you do, that's fine. Great. I'm glad to have you here. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start with okay. Lynn, what about you? What about you, Lynn? Do you have anything that you want to accomplish still and you're kind of thinking you can't? Or if you have any personal questions as well, you can ask those at this time. But I'm going to be looking at that for you. Tell me what, Lynn. We're going to look at, first of all, mistakes made. Some of us aren't really aware of what these things are. Where we went wrong necessarily, right? So we're going to look at that, mistakes made, and then, advice, direction, and where we're going, things we can personally do to get what we want still out of the situation, okay? So let's see, Lynn. Can you guys hear me all right, by the way? Hey, Julie. By the power of the full moon, help its influence to tell us what Lynn needs to do, how she can accomplish her goals that she still has yet to accomplish by the next year, 2022. What advice do you have for her? What mistakes did she make? And what's the outcome as we move toward the next year? For Lynn. 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 What does Lynn need to know? How did Lynn screw up this year? What were the things that she did wrong that she can still change? Okay, that's funny. It's kind of interesting, Lynn, because we see these, you know, these themes here of taking action and then also waiting, you know, not taking action. And it's kind of funny because you would think when you're taking action, the Seven of Pentacles wouldn't be part of that. But the thing I see here is basically you took action, you know, at times when it was probably like not needed, or it was too soon, or maybe you just jumped ahead, you know, did things that you did extra, you know, and it kind of hurt you in some ways. And, you know, here we see you waited in certain ways that you shouldn't have, you know, it's like, it wasn't on point with what you know, it wasn't the right timing, I guess you could say. And you put a little too much into certain things and then not enough into others. Like some things you kind of like thought, I put in a lot of work here. I'm just going to wait for it to happen now. I think I could just wait for it to happen. It's not happening. But really, it's like you don't need to work harder, right? You need to work smarter is what they say. So we're going to look at this. We're going to look a little bit further into this and see like what exact things those things were so that you know. What did Lynn act on too soon? Here. Where did Lynn take action too soon, or with too much force, too much energy, with too much, you know, to where it got in the way of her goals? Where did Lynn put in too much effort? Kind of jumped a little ahead of herself. Where she needed to pull the reins back and kind of chill and not feel the need to take action there. With the page, I'm sorry, with the Ace of Wands. When I knew this was going to come out because I saw it and I just was like, that would be funny. And there it is. So basically, yeah, it was like something that I think you really didn't even really want this as much. It could have been what somebody else was wanting, or maybe what was expected of you, possibly. Yeah, so it's like you are pretty independent. It's hard for you to like do things that you don't want to do, you know? And so here you took too much action in regards to like taking care of things that weren't necessarily your goals, but were other people's goals or other people's, you know, wants and needs. Just other people like kind of put you in that position of, can you help me? Or can you like, this is better if you do this. I just need you to do this. And you kind of felt obligated probably. It's, you know, and so really you took too much action in ways that were, you know, things that you didn't want. And the whole point of the full moon in Capricorn is like, you know, these are things that we want to be successful in. These are things that are practical for our lives and going to help us to reach success. So if it was someone else wanting success or wanting, you know, needing your help with it, it's like you wasted your time a bit doing that, you know, and you're probably understanding that already. But yeah, it could have been a lover, it could have been like somebody that was, you know, important to you emotionally, a friend, a family member, but it was basically like you were trying to offer this to them and maybe they had something to offer you in return, but you just basically felt like it was a waste of time and you weren't really committed to it because basically it wasn't something that you really wanted. Okay, so we do see with the Queen of Wands, you know, you do have certain goals that you wanted to reach still, and you're very independent and you're very capable of getting those needs met. But basically here we're talking about, you know, you wasting a lot of time and energy trying to help somebody else, or trying maybe many people to accomplish their goals, and it was kind of like something that just took away from what you could have been doing for yourself. So boundaries needed for sure. And let's see about the Seven of Pentacles. Where did she wait and not take action enough? And we'll look at advice. Not take action enough here. Where did she wait and not take action? Okay. In regards to finding yourself, duh, right? It's the opposite of the other one. Basically, you going on your own journey, spending time on your own and finding that fulfillment that you need. You know, obviously you feel like there's something missing in your life emotionally, having to do with fulfillment here with these 8 cups filled to the brim, and we've got that one little space that's open. And the reason it's there is because you just feel like something is missing and you're trying to look for it. But basically, it's, you know, yes, the full moon in Capricorn is all about reaching our goals. Well, the full moon in general is about reaching our goals. You know, it's about what do we need to do? What steps do we need to take? You know, are we on the right path? Are we actually looking at these things realistically with the full moon in Capricorn, which was last night? So that's the energy that is still lingering here and will be for some time, you know, a few days at least. So, you know, it's like, do you procrastinate, or have you been like really focused on these goals? Like the full moon is all about illuminating the truth and you actually discovering like what it is, what's the problem, and also, you know, what do I really want? And so a lot of people kind of like focus on, you know, so many things throughout the month, and it's just they don't know exactly where to start, where to begin, where to even, you know, if they even can focus on themselves. And so it's important to look at these things, and the moon phases are really helpful for that. You know, right now should be a time that maybe endings are occurring for some people and things are kind of uncomfortable, but for some people they're totally loving it because there's changes. And you know, this whole reading is just basically about like what things have you done and wasted time on, what mistakes have you made, you know, and then going forward, like what can we do to change that, and how can we actually put the power back in our own hands and get what we need by the end of the year, by the beginning of the next year. So let's see. Yeah, and I would just say for Lynn, of course, you know, having to do with the first set of cards, yeah, what you definitely needed to have done or what you wanted, you know, kind of you neglected this, and that's why you waited for it to kind of change, things to change and for you to be fulfilled. But you didn't do this solo journey mission because you were kind of caught up on other people's things, or just, you know, didn't have enough time to actually use the Queen of Wands energy for your own self. And so the challenge for you would be to actually allow that to happen. These next 6 months of this year, you should step into this Queen of Wands energy and actually focus like religiously on yourself, you know, and your goals. No, the power, well, I mean, it can be, that's up to you to decide, but power is, you know, it can be many different things, but basically, you know, you're in control of your life. A lot of people don't think that they are, and they don't see how that makes sense, but really it is up to you to make the certain changes. And so these readings are just kind of directing you to see what changes you can make still to accomplish these goals that you have set. And Maxine, go ahead and read the description for me, please. It will explain everything that I'm trying to do here, and you'll kind of understand where I'm at with this and what I'm trying to do, because I explain it in the description. So yeah, it's just basically, you know, you need to understand that this is your life and here are the things that you can do to still get what you want. If you thought that all hope is lost, it is not the case ever. So sometimes we want things that we don't need, and we need things we don't want. So that's kind of, you know, where the trouble comes in for some of us. We don't know what those things are. Some of us know exactly what they are, and it's just a struggle to get there. But it is up to you ultimately to make that happen. So some things just aren't meant. But it's saying you're going to take a deliberate action here. You know, this is something that you kind of, you know, obviously neglected, taking action for yourself here, Lynn. And also, you know, it has a lot to do with this Eight of Cups here. It's like finding yourself, going and trying to find that fulfillment was neglected. You were focused on other things, other people, and just didn't have enough time to focus on you. Maybe you didn't have certain goals, but I feel like you definitely did with that Queen of Wands energy there. Like doing what you need to do was a bit, you know, not in full force. But if you can kind of understand that, like, now is the time to step forward and do the things you need to do for yourself, and, you know, allow other people to do the things they need to do for themselves, because really you're not helping them by doing things for them. It's kind of limiting them, you know, it's kind of making them more dependent on other people. It's not that it's your fault necessarily, you're trying to do a nice thing, but really it's not very helpful at the end of the day, because they're not growing, they're not learning their own lessons themselves like you need to be doing. So let's see, as we move forward into this year, how, you know, what is the advice for Lynn? What is the advice for Lynn as we move on throughout the year to reach your goals here? Yeah, find something you're passionate about, Lynn, if you don't have something already. Like, if you don't, which you probably have a few things in mind, but if you don't, definitely be finding something passionate that you're passionate about, because it seems like, you know, that would be very helpful for you to actually focus on it. Like, this is something that you need to be interested in full force. Like, this is something that needs to just get you going and have your heart racing and just feel, you need to feel like you really want to be there, like you're very into it and it's emotional for you. You know, something, you need something that's going to get your attention emotionally. Yeah, and you know, it's funny because the Page of Wands, I would never like give that really as advice, but what it's saying, I think, here is basically like take action, do new things, do things you wouldn't have thought would work. You know, like, you have to take action somehow for yourself now. It's like before it's too late, before it's the end of the year and you don't get to reach these goals, you have to do something now. And don't be afraid to do that, you know, don't be afraid to say no to people, kind of take action. I would never say like don't think before you jump. And that's kind of what the Page of Wands energy is. But that's kind of funny because it's, you know, with the Ace of Cups here, you wouldn't really have to think much because you would just know it's the right thing because it just feels right for you. But you have to find out what that is if you haven't already. I feel like you already have a few things in mind, Lynn, but if you don't, start thinking about what things make you feel fulfilled. Again, you have to go on that Eight of Cups solo journey to find the things that you need to feel fulfilled. So first of all, but yeah, this can actually bring you a lot of success too. There will be many opportunities for success and to find something fulfilling in this. But you do have to take action. You do have to go and find that thing, because it seems like if you haven't found it already, then yeah, you need to start looking. But if you have found it already, then you just need to start getting it going and take action on it. You know, the Page of Wands is like, just go, 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 go. Don't even think about it, go. But, you know, again, I wouldn't really give that as advice ever. I mean, I'm a Virgo, so I would never say, like, just don't think before you act. But it seems like now it's really trying to urge you to act more than anything else. Stop thinking about it. Just do it, you know. Do something to reach your goal. Like, try to just get out there and have experiences. And, you know, try things. You'll fail sometimes. And then you'll reach the point where you find success, and you'll have many opportunities to find success too. So I feel like it's not going to just be the first thing you try, but it will eventually lead you to what you want out of it, or at least on the way to that. But most of all, you do have to take action here. I feel like you've been thinking, contemplating a lot, and working for other people, taking action for what other people wanted. So the goals they wanted to reach. And here we have the Devil. So this is Capricorn energy, but it doesn't have to be Capricorn. It could just represent, you know, there's something unbalanced about this. You're probably very, you know, it could be the boundaries thing for you. It could just be like taking action is difficult. You have a lot of fears. You have a lot of things holding you back mentally, emotionally. Things, you know, it's like self-imposed though. It's something that you are almost like we're addicted to stress. You know, we're addicted to feeling stressed out or needing to do something all the time, can't relax. And it's just like something that holds you down and holds you back, you know, but it's really just an unhealthy habit that you can kick. And you need to just start looking at it as, this is a monkey on my back that I don't need, you know. They are chained here to this devil. And so it's difficult to just break free from it, but you do have to do that, and you do have the power to do that. You just have to realize that that's what it is. You know, it's not just that you can't do it. It's that you just need to like change your perspective and change the way you go about things. and start believing in yourself. I wish the star was here because that would make a lot more sense too, you know, like start believing that you actually can, because I feel like you're kind of like allowing this to hold you back and you don't even realize that you don't have to. Ooh. Yeah, and there's been a lot of disappointment, you know, for you. You've been looking at the negative for quite some time, and I think that's another reason this is a good reading for you, because it's talking about, you know, what can you do? Not all hope is lost, but you may be feeling that way. You know, you're looking at these 3 cups that are knocked down. You're not really so much focusing on these 2 that are still standing, you know, and you know that with these 2 cups here, there is more opportunity here, but if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to keep getting the same result. And so that's where this bridge comes in here, because you have to go over that bridge into this castle and you have to do something different and find something new and find that prize, you know, but you just haven't even tried to do that yet. You haven't even gone there. And so your challenge and your mission is to basically try different things and go for it. Go for what you want and what you've always been wanting, Lynn, because this year it's going to end soon here. We have 6 months left, and it's really just up to you to kind of take action and start doing the things you know you've needed to do for yourself, okay? You guys read the description too, so you can kind of get a feel of what I mean by this, you know, by doing these readings for you tonight. It's very important because we all want things. We all have goals, and if we don't, you should create some, because it will make life a lot more fulfilling for you. You know, if you feel like you're lost or not on the right track or anything, then that's kind of how you switch it up for yourself. You can turn that around. You can actually be doing something that you feel is best for you. Some people don't know what's best for them, and that's a whole different, you know, challenge you have there. And for a lot of you, that's probably what it's going to be. You don't even know what you want to do or what you want, where you want to go, how you want it to look, you know, next year for you. What are your goals? These are very important things, you know, for a fulfillment of life, for you to feel fulfilled in life. You need some kind of goal, and that's exactly why the full moon in Capricorn is saying, because we're going to be thinking seriously about life and how to practically reach our goals. And it is up to you. I always want to put the power back in your hands, because it is up to you to make these things happen, no one else. A lot of people don't know that, or they don't feel like they have the power to do that or make things happen, but they do. So I'm just looking at what things can you do to help you along the way before the next year comes. How can you get what you want, basically, by the end of this year and the beginning of next year? And isn't that fitting? Queen of Wands, see, she does what she wants, and she does not ask permission, and she just does it. She just knows what's best for her, and she doesn't feel the need to ask permission. She's like, yeah, I'm doing what I want, and that's it. Sorry, if you don't like it, we're not even having this conversation. I'm gone. Hi, Maggie. Love reading. Okay, let's look for Sahu. Let's look at your love reading here for you and Ashok. I want to look at kind of what went wrong here, and I'm good. How are you, Maggie? Thanks for asking. Stick around and I'll get you after this one, okay? So we'll look at, you know, what went wrong here and why is this an issue? You know, this year, what were some actions you took or maybe didn't take that kind of, you know, put you in the place you're in now? And what things can you do to resolve this, if anything? Of course, there's always something we can do. And how can you still get kind of what you're wanting out of this? How can you lead yourself there to that point where you feel fulfilled in life? Kathleen, hey, how's it going? You're new. Okay, Sahu, what did you do that didn't work this year? Let's look at that. What were some things you did that did not work? Okay, so either you did or you didn't heal enough. I think it's definitely important for you to heal now. You know, there's still some things you need to heal from. That's possibly why you're hanging on to this. Yeah. So you needed to have healed, but instead you tried to work on, you know, rekindling whatever you had or would like to have, you know, and you're weighing your options. You're not really sure what you want, but the thing is you need to be more sure of yourself. I feel like this year was kind of a year where you were waiting on people or waiting on something to happen that didn't necessarily take place. And you kind of, you know, lost out on the healing that you could have had for yourself, you know, that you could have gone through and experienced and resolved a lot of things in your life and in your heart, you know. And so now things are a bit heavy and things seem a bit more chaotic because it didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. But, you know, you do have to set a goal. I feel like you don't have any, like, many goals except for maybe, you know, like this person. And so that's going to cause you to kind of feel unbalanced because it's not really a goal, you know, especially when they, you know, don't reciprocate, or when they don't want the same things as you and you feel like it's a failure or something like that, then obviously it's not going to feel like you had a very accomplishing year. So that's kind of, you know, you kind of focus too much on that and not enough on certain goals. You know, I think it was up in the air a lot for you this year. So that was kind of the thing that hurt you more than helped. And what are some ways we can resolve this? Anything she can do to kind of push forward and still get the things she needs and wants this year? Yeah, start focusing on what you actually want. Again, just like the last reading, you know, Nine of Cups, you have to not be greedy like it kind of suggests in this card, but you know, you do have to think about what are these things in these cups. You know, do you have certain things that you want other than this person, like just things that you want for yourself and, you know, to have success in life, you know, practical things, not necessarily material items. And as cups, it's more emotional, fulfilling, you know, self-fulfillment. But I would say, you know, with the moon in Capricorn, the full moon in Capricorn last night, we're talking about, you know, success and things that you can feel all the way around have helped you and that are good for your life, you know, goals that you have that you want to reach. And of course, that helps you feel emotionally fulfilled. So what kind of actions can she take here moving into the next year? Yeah. Okay. So there's certain things and people in your life that are probably pretty toxic for you, and you need to close yourself off to them. You know, there are just things that are not needed in your life. You know, things that are maybe offering you, you know, whoever's offering you things or whatever you're trying to offer to someone else is probably not what's best for you. And it's probably best if you kind of like not isolate, but take some time on your own and try to just figure you out. You know, for now, like don't be taking or giving any offers. Yeah. And you do kind of have to walk away from something and kind of abandon it altogether. And I feel like it may be having to do with this person, just this idea. You don't have to forever, but just at least for now, you know, because it's best for you now to, because this is kind of actually what you're feeling too, is that you were abandoned in a way, you know, that you were kind of left out in the cold. And so in order to like change that whole perspective of feeling like you were left out and hurt like that, you know, not to say that you're not a victim in your own right. I mean, somebody could have done something to you, but you know, to live in that kind of energy really does not help. You know, it really does make you feel less empowered, and it really doesn't help you to heal or to get anywhere with it. You know, it kind of just keeps you in that place. So let's see, anything else? Yeah, commitment here. This sometimes means marriage, but it doesn't really necessarily mean that in this case, because again, I don't feel like this is saying to you that you need to like think about anyone else or being with somebody. It's more talking about like you need to commit or do the things that you feel are right. Sometimes it's talking about what society expects of us, and sometimes that's not always what we're wanting, you know. Sometimes what we're wanting is not what society expects of us. So it's important to know like what the difference is between those things. But if that's what's important to you and that makes you feel like you're doing the right thing and that puts you on the right track, then fine. But I feel like more it's just saying commit to something, you know, have a goal, commit to it, and commit to doing what's best for yourself and not necessarily like other people or focusing on them at all, you know. Like more until you can focus on your own self and realize what it is that you want without other people involved, you know, then you would have to, then, you know, you have some time to focus on others. But until then, you really kind of get consumed and you kind of like, you know, you merge with another person so much so that you then don't know what you want without them. And that's unhealthy and that's hurtful to us when the other person isn't really around or there to kind of, you know, add to it. You know, and either way, then it would just be what they want. And so we're trying to put the power back in your hands and focus on, you know, what are you going to commit to? So Sahu, I want you to ask yourself, you know, how can you commit to something without needing another person involved? I know you want, you know, this to work out with this person, and that's, you know, obviously it's not right now. You're wanting to know, like, how can I make that happen? But really what's best for you at this time in a practical way is for you to kind of focus on you. And, you know, you won't be feeling this anymore. You won't be feeling left out because it won't matter as much. You know, it will be more about you and the things that fulfill you. And it's not just another person, you know, it can be sometimes, but if that other person isn't going to, you know, meet us halfway, then of course it's going to hurt us. So that's hurtful and we don't need that. We need to know what we can do. Yeah, see? It's this tie, it's this bind. You feel chained to this monkey, this devil character. Also Capricorn energy and Taurus. This is Taurus as well. It could be a Taurus or a Capricorn you're asking about. But basically here, it is an unhealthy bind. That's exactly what I was saying, is that it's very unhealthy. It's just not something that's going to help you feel like fulfilled and like you're thriving. So I don't see much changing in regards to that person and how they're acting towards you. And that's why these cards are coming out for you, Sahu, because it's basically saying like, this is time to focus on you. Like, get down to, get real about what you really need to be doing to make your life better. You can wait around for this person forever, but really it's not going to help you. Like, it's just going to hurt you when you see that it's not what you had wanted. And yeah, so it's just best to find what goals you really need to set, because this person doesn't seem to be showing much change in the way that they're acting toward the situation and towards you. What is on the horizon for Sahu if they're able to kind of keep to themselves and focus on themselves? Yeah, I still see you very much thinking of the past and having these triggering memories and moments where you just, you think about it a lot, and it kind of does bring sadness to the situation. So I don't see this necessarily being like a very easy way to heal, but it still is, you starting now is important because of this, especially. This is something that's hard for you to kind of like not think about. I think you fear a lot of things and you have a lot of anxiety. You think something's going to go wrong if you let this go. And that's just a fear. I mean, you have been hurt in the past, but know that also this has hurt you. So isn't it like nice to know that you can move on from it and try to find something better, or maybe try to find something more fulfilling, not be so focused on a person, because then, yeah, they can hurt you if you're too focused on that, for your soul happiness. But look at this 10 of Cups. I mean, I'm saying what's on the horizon for you if you're able to kind of focus on yourself, Sahu? Look at this. I mean, yeah, fears, memories, sure. But if you can stay focused and strong here with the, I wish the Strength card was here, because that would help a lot. But you still do have this as the outcome. You still can reach that goal of 10 of Cups. It's just you kind of have to put yourself in that mode and realize that this is a time that, you need to kind of like cut ties with certain things that are unhealthy for your mind and heart, and focus on what is, best for you. And that is focusing on yourself at this time. Coming full circle, time moves on, time keeps moving on, time keeps going. I think you should be able to do this if you fix yourself in this kind of thought. You've been doing this for a long time. You've been thinking about this person for a long time. And I think it's important that you notice that and recognize that nothing's changed and nothing's going to change right now. We can't control what other people do. And if it's taking from our experience of our own life, it's important that you, try to see what you can do about that and not just stay there in that place, because it's really not a comfortable place. And it really is your job to kind of take yourself out of that place and realize what you need to do for you. And this person obviously isn't thinking about it as much as you are. So really, you are kind of hurting yourself by doing that, unfortunately. You see what they're doing and it's not helping the situation. You need to kind of like take action now and help yourself in this situation. And you can totally do that. Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. It's just, your own, accept yourself, basically. Your own self stopping you. I know you're afraid, but it's time. And once you do take action on that, you will find that things are a lot more light and a lot happier. And once you direct yourself toward the goals that you need to be making for your own life, you'll feel more fulfilled, completely more fulfilled, because it's, what you're wanting, not just an idea of what would be nice. You can make that happen for yourself. I don't see them changing much right now, so I think it's important that you try to take action on these changes that are important for you to have a more fulfilling life for yourself, okay? Tanya. Yeah. Tanya. Hello, Battery Hall. Do you have a question, or did you want to know? Oh, Kathleen, right. Yeah, let's go with Kathleen first. Sorry about that, Tanya. It's just she's new here, and I think you may be new as well, Tanya. I'm not sure. But yeah, we'll go with you first, Kathleen, since I did say that. Sorry about that, Tanya. But if you stick around, we'll get to you after this one, okay? Okay, so Tanya, or Kathleen. Kathleen, thank you for reminding me. Sometimes I forget, so go ahead and, type in the chat, you know, and sometimes I forget, so just remind me, and we're all good. We're back in action. Kathleen. Yep, we're going to get to you right after Kathleen, okay, Tanya? And I keep feeling my XD around me. What's up with that? Okay, well, let's see here. So you're having trouble getting past something, and you keep feeling the energy of your ex around, kind of like holding you back, you're thinking, or you're feeling like, is that what you're saying? Why is she, what's the purpose of her ex? Like, she's feeling that his energy is around. What is the purpose of this? I feel like I already kind of know, but okay. Yeah, so you struggle to take action forward only because, you're wanting to still collaborate with the person. The Empress at the bottom, you're possibly wanting a new start. There could have been a pregnancy involved, possibly. May not be the case, but that's what the Empress means sometimes, so I'm just throwing it out there. So it's kind of confusing for you, isn't it? It's like you're thinking a bit clouded here. There's not really a clear way to go about it for you in your mind. It's like very unclear. It's very clouded. You just don't exactly know what to do or how to approach it or look at it or how to feel about it. It's confusing for you. So basically, yeah. So basically, collaborating is going to be important. You exchanging your ideas, you being able to stand up for yourself too, like say what's on your mind and share that with people, because it's not just going to be, you shouldn't just be listening to what other people want or feel or need. So if somebody's trying to like tell you like, no, you're wrong and this is the way it really is, this is the way you should be doing things, or this is the way you should be looking at it, it's important that you also say what's on your mind, because collaborating is, it's not just like listening to one person and being submissive to that. It's like also having your own thoughts and feelings about things, so that can kind of put power back into your hands too. And I think this is overall, it's affecting you because you aren't able to really take action forward and progress. And so the reason you're having the feelings around you is because obviously it's hard to let go of, and you're confused about how to feel about it. It's just not very clear. If you knew exactly what the case was and how they felt and how you felt about it, then you would kind of know what you need to do. But since you don't know that, it's just very clouded for you and it's holding you back now. So let's see what you can do about this, because that makes sense. It's an ex, probably didn't give you a lot to work with there in regards to like where it's at now. So that's why you don't know how to feel about it really. And that obviously you don't know how to take action because of that. So it's not like you're like nuts or anything. It's just, kind of in a position here. So let's see. This is also the Cancer card and the Pisces card. So if you are involved with one of them, or that was one of, your ex's signs, then that's possible as well. Okay, so let's see. Anything that she needs to know about moving forward and how she can do this to help herself, have a rebirth and evolve and kind of push forward past this experience that is limiting. Well, yes, first of all, take action, but not just take action like the Page of Wands without thinking. It's set a goal and set a direction. Okay, because this is a certain direction you're going in. It's like it's a direction, it's not just like, you know, it's not just, I don't know where I'm going. It's like, no, I'm going to set my intention. So you have to focus on what is it that you want, okay? What is it that you feel is best for you and what you need and what you want right now? So that's the first thing for you to figure out. And then you know, figure out the steps to get to that point. So first of all, you know, with the full moon in Capricorn last night, I would say, you know, you trying to figure out like where you want to go and what direction you want to take. The best way to know if that's like a good idea, I guess you could say, for you is, you know, is this practical for you? Is this realistic? Is this, you know, why is it that you want this to happen? Why is it that you want to go to this place and reach this goal? Why is this a goal for you? You know, if you're like, oh, I want to move or something, you know, is it just because you just, you know, you want to get your mind off things, but you may not have the money to really do that right now? It puts you in kind of a place that's more difficult financially, or is it like you've been wanting to for a long time and this is, you know, maybe this will be the change you need. You've wanted to do that for a while, but you've been held back. So now you're just going to do it because you think that would be a good change. Then okay, you know, that kind of is more realistic than the first one where you're just wanting to like escape and you don't really have the money to do it, you know, for example. So it's like you have to ask yourself like what you want, and then is it practical? Is it realistic for me and for my situation right now? You don't want to put yourself in a place that's more difficult, you know. So here, this is interesting because, and I know you're probably happy to see this, but it's not I don't really think it's talking about this person as much as it's talking about, you know, although it could be touching on how you obviously feel connected to the person, and that's probably why you're having a hard time, like, you know, getting them out of your energy. But it's mostly talking about, for this card, it can also mean, you know, you looking at yourself, like your higher self, like you actually kind of looking in a mirror in a way, but not literally. It's just you like having this time with yourself and really like trying to do what's best for you. And that's what this whole everyone's reading has been about tonight, is basically just like what's best for you, and you know, focusing on that instead of other people or another person, you know. And because that puts you in a place that you actually want to be, and then you don't have as many like confusing questions. You kind of already know you're on the right path. You know what you want to do and where you need to go next. It's not like all this confusing, like who knows where I'm going and what I'm doing, and I care so much about what this person's going to do because that's going to, you know, change what I do. It's like it should really just be about what you want, and if somebody wants to follow along, great. If they don't, then you're still going to do what you had planned to do, you know. Mm-hmm. So, but do you think it's best for you to, like, that's what you're wanting basically, is to continue in this relationship? Is that what you're saying? Let's see, you know, what the energy is between you. It was a thing that kind of happened quick, I feel like. Like, if it wasn't quick, if you guys did have a long-term relationship, I think it started quick and it kind of like got heated really quick, you know, and it could have been short-lived. But if it wasn't, then I would just say that's how it kind of, it just was so like probably very passionate right away and just kind of like happened very quickly. Everything that happened in the relationship was pretty quick and just kind of like without thought, you know, probably because, you know, probably because, you know, when you really like somebody or love someone, it's, you know, you don't really think about it. It's kind of like, not only is love blind, but it's like, well, lust is blind, I guess, really. But, you know, not only is it blind, it's kind of like, you just don't think about it. I mean, you just feel like it's the right thing. So that kind of makes sense there. You said, no, just why I feel him around so much. Well, because, you know, again, with the Two of Cups, if we're talking about the connection you feel with him, that's obviously why, you know, because, and also this, because it's not necessarily that he's around, it's just that you are having a hard time getting past it and letting it pass, you know, because obviously there's confusion there still and things that you are holding on to. And, you know, we tend to think that like our emotions are what cause us to have certain thoughts. Like we're thinking about this because we feel this way. No, it's really that you feel certain ways because you think a certain way. It starts with your thoughts, you know. I mean, yeah, we can be triggered by random things and not know how that even came into our mind, or maybe a scent, you know, and it makes us feel a certain way. But we do have certain things, like when we smell that scent, the first thoughts we have, you know, maybe just of a reaction we can't really control very much, and you start to feel sad or maybe mad or whatever it is, or happy. But you know, it's kind of like controlling your thoughts. Again, giving the power back to you, putting the power back in your own hands of your life. You know, you can control your thoughts. That's pretty much what your job is, you know, to be able to heal, to be able to help yourself and move forward, motivate yourself, do the right thing for yourself, stay on track. You know, you have to control your thoughts. And that's what controls your emotions. So if you think about one thing like, oh, this is so sad and I've gotten nowhere, I'm a failure and this sucks, you know, or you could say like, yeah, that was then, but you know, that's past and yeah, that kind of made me sad right now, but really like, I don't need to let that ruin my night and affect my whole week, you know? It is you motivating yourself to not let that happen or to let that happen, which is very possible. So So are we wanting to know what he feels now, or what are we wanting to? Because it seems like you're still not past it, which, you know, no judgment. I'm just saying it seems like you are kind of thinking about it in a way that, you know, in a way holding you back, you know, because you left him, you did that for a reason, obviously, you know. And if you felt like that was best for yourself, then you should really be happy that you did that and congratulate yourself. Be proud of yourself that you did what you needed to do. Okay, let's look at what he feels currently. What is he feeling about this connection currently? Currently, what is he feeling about this connection between them that ended? He's at a standstill, I think, still as well as you, kind of, you know. You know, he could be in the same energy as you, or just kind of unsure how to take action in his own life as well. And so let's see why that's happening. Let's see what the reason for this is. Yeah, there's disappointment. I think he thinks he did a lot of things wrong and he thinks things could have been a lot different, but really it's kind of negative because he's focused more on the negative than the positive. Like there's still hope in this. Like even if not with you two, there's still hope in his life. Like he does not have to just be hard on himself and think that he's a failure. I mean, he can move forward and take the lessons learned and kind of, you know, change according to those things that he feels he needs to change and learn from. But as of right now, he's really just kind of focused on the negative aspect of the whole situation, like not really the positive, or that there's still hope in, you know, his life in general to move past it, or to kind of like, you know, redeem himself, you know, even if it's not with you, it's just with his own self. He doesn't have to feel like he's just a complete failure that can't take action now because, you know, hi, Nick. You know, so it's like he's kind of just like sitting there in this, I mean, dare I say, maybe victim mentality, or, you know, feeling like it's just a burden, you know, and it's just, there's no way out. So, I mean, it's really not, I feel like he's kind of in a place where, you know, kind of similar to you, but I feel like he's deeper in it. Like it's just, he doesn't even understand that like there is a way out, but that's, you know, maybe he's just really broken up about it. There's, you know, time will probably help with that. Don't know how long it's been necessarily, you don't have to tell me, but it's just, you know, it's, yeah, this is the giant Rider-Waite tarot. So, yeah, it's just like, you know, for some reason he's not controlling his own thoughts right now. He's letting his thoughts take over. Yeah. See, you know, it is very difficult, but this is also healing. So this, you know, we all need to go through this stage here where we are crying and upset about things. You know, we need to feel that shit, because if we don't, then we're just going to hide it and, you know, push it to the side. And if we actually did care about it at one point, then it's going to come back up and it's going to hurt again and again and again until you resolve it. So if you never gave a fuck about it, then obviously you can just walk away from it and push it to the side. But this wouldn't be happening if that were the case, you know? So obviously it meant something. Yeah, I would say so as well. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, that's funny. that Aries was the first card I saw right now after Aries came on, so that's interesting. But it's kind of funny because it's like, yeah, to set things straight, that's what would need to happen is, you know, balance. And obviously balance does not just take like them feeling sorry for themselves. I mean, it's like they do have to take responsibility at some point. Let's see if they're able to do that as we move forward into the next year. Okay, well, we do see them trying to balance things out. What's the Queen of Wands, or I'm sorry, Queen of Cups here for? Okay, I see them still kind of with this bottom energy is a bit indecisive of how to take action here, and maybe they're not even sure that they have the ability to do that or that it's up to them to make that happen, you know? Like they don't see that like their contribution to their own life is really what it is. And that's what I'm trying to do here tonight is like let you guys know like it is up to you, and you need to understand that because it's not anyone else's job. Like we have to make it happen for ourselves. And here it's kind of like he may be feeling like he needs help or like he needs someone to like lend him a hand, or but that's not going to help him on his journey either. I mean, it's good to have that support, and that's what the Queen of Cups is about, you know, having that nurturing motherly almost like support. It's important to have support there and to have someone who cares, but if he, you know, gets too caught up in that and needing that, it's like, you know, at some point we can be that for ourselves, and that's kind of what we need to do. Of course, it's important to have a support system. It's very helpful. And it's, you know, a lot of people need that, you know, most of us, I would say, need that when we're going through something, but also, you know, not being too dependent on that is important because we can be that for ourselves as well. But again, we all go through this stage, you know, and it's important to go through that stage. So hopefully he doesn't stay in that stage too long. Maybe he does need a little bit of support, you know, to help him kind of get out of that, or to, you know, help him to see a different perspective and not just be caught up in the, you know, downside of it all. That's funny you say. You might move back in with his mom. Okay. Well, that motherly aspect is there still with that. Yeah, and so, you know, it's a hard road, I think, for him next year. It's not going to be easy. He's scared about getting hurt or that something bad's going to happen. Hypervigilant a bit. I don't see much responsibility. I see it more overcoming him, you know, like it taking over and taking control instead of him taking control back and facing the consequences and taking responsibility for things that have gone wrong. And also understanding that it was, you know, a certain way for a reason. There's things he could have done differently, but also that we can't go back. We have to push forward now and just take the lessons learned and, you know, find a new path and find the light, you know. Find the way out of our misery, self-imposed. Okay, so let's see for you, though. One last thing we want to look at here. Nice. What do we have to look forward to for your year of 2022? What's coming for you? Kathleen. What do we have to look forward to for Kathleen as we reach this next year? Nice. So yeah, I mean, first of all, with the Cancer card here, this one came out early. You're going to be taking action and you're going to be moving in a certain direction, you know, and I think it's important for you to be aware that there are two different probably options, maybe even more. But it seems like you're going to have to choose between a few options, you know, and it's almost easier when you have less options to choose from, because if you have more, it becomes more confusing. You're thinking of, you know, should I have done this? Should I have done that? It's just a lot more complicated. So it would probably be a good thing if there were less options than more for you to choose from. But it is you doing this. It is you taking action and choosing which way you're going to go instead of allowing life to just kind of like take action for you and just, you know, kind of, do its thing without you having any input. It's important that you actually take action here. So it's, yeah, and there's going to be, you know, a few action or a few choices that are, you know, that will stand out, that you'll know, like, okay, it's either this or this or whatever, however many it is. But so I see you in a place of like moving forward, definitely. And it is your choice which action to take or which, you know, road to go down. And we do have the King of Swords. So it's important that you're honest in all of your dealings, you know, and strive to have that in your friendships and relationships too. Like, don't take bullshit the King of Swords is not about taking bullshit. He knows better, and so take on that energy if you can. It'll help you out a lot. You don't need to deal or tolerate bullshit and people that aren't going to be honest with you or straightforward. Like, you don't need all of that. It's complicated enough. So I see this energy coming out in a big way for yourself and for the people you allow into your sphere, because it will influence you. If you have shady people around, it will influence you, and you don't need that. You need positive, straightforward, honest, factual. You just need what is it? It is what it is. What is it? The truth. Realness. So this could also be indicating, some kind of air sign, one of the air signs, Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. And here we go. So you're very proud of where you are going and where you've come, like from where you've come. Here you're looking at the past, everything that has led up to this point here, and you're just taking it all in. And I would say you're quite proud of yourself. So I think you're going to be making some changes here as we end this year and move toward the next year, 2022. And I'm very excited to be able to tell you that. That's awesome. Just know it is up to you. The power is in your hands, and you do have what it takes to get there. So just don't forget that, set a goal, take an action, go to a certain place that you want to go. Like set an intention and just go for it. And also try to control your thoughts. Remember, try to control those thoughts, because that's everything. It really does help. It really helps you to get out of that down place, Right on, Kathleen. Awesome. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for your question and thanks for your time. Glad you are happy with that. And it's all up to you, It really is. That's why I don't want people to think like, I'm not trying to say like, you're not doing enough for yourself, but it's like, it's not work harder, it's just smarter, right? We just have to kind of have a different approach about, doing everything, the way we're going about things. It's not failure, it's just a different path now, Sometimes we need to have that stab and that little jab to know that, no, that we're going the wrong way, Okay, so Tanya. Yes. Battery Hall, yes. You can go after Tanya. Okay. Can you tell me about my future husband and his personality and his profession? Well, we don't know for sure if there is going to be a husband, but let's look at maybe your next well, first let's use the Romance Angels Oracle. Let's see what comes out with that. What we're looking at in regards to love for you. Romance Angels Oracle. Oops. Oops. These cards are getting old. Tell us about what's to come in love for Tanya regarding the question about her husband. Will there be a husband at some point? What about the future of her love life and what we need to focus on in regards to this question? The reason I'm asking this way, Tanya, is because I don't really ever see it as like, you know, for sure you're going to have a, you know, husband. I mean, we don't know that for sure as of right now. So that's just why I'm asking in this way, because if it just comes out that you never do get married, then that's going to change things, obviously, right? So you could still have a serious relationship and maybe you just, you know, decide you don't exactly want to be married, but you'll still have a serious relationship. You know, it's like marriage in itself is a very specific topic. So that's just why I'm asking in this way what we need to know, because we don't know for sure if you will have a husband, you know. You're almost asking this as if, you know that already, but we don't. So we have to look at that, okay? Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. You see? Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. Nice. So there are some issues in your family of origin for you to deal with, and obviously we all have these things. But this is probably what's going to need to happen first. That's why I asked that question first instead of just assuming you're going to have a husband, you know. So yeah, first of all, some issues to heal first, and that will help you to open up maybe more to the idea, or you know, just feel more comfortable to do so, or actually, you know, find the right person, and you know, instead of the wrong person, which a lot of us do as well. And especially if we're not fully healed and forgiving the things that have happened from our childhood and all of that, plus other issues, you know, there are many things that go into it. Ooh, you're in denial, my friend. It's interesting. Maybe it's an egg we really don't want to crack. Who knows? Because that's a statement there. It's a pretty heavy statement you just said. Yeah. I wonder if you really believe that. And who am I to say? But I mean, I think it's safe to say that we all have issues. You know, and if we think we don't, that's kind of, no offense to you, it's just kind of funny. Oh, of course, nothing's saying that you don't. Nothing is suggesting you don't love them. Of course you do. Or, I mean, some people, I guess, could say they don't, but I mean, yeah, no, of course. That's not what we're talking about, though. You know, you could still have certain things, you know, that affect you. Maybe you don't know what those things are yet. I think we all have those things. It says, release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. And so, okay, if there's no ex here, we're talking about a past situation. We're talking about, you know, a past, even with yourself. It's just release the past, basically, you know. But there probably is a certain person that maybe you're in their energy still, or they're in yours, and it's affecting, you know, the future for you if you allow that to continue. Because we all change and we all move on. But if you don't, obviously that's going to affect our future relationships, you know. Right, I thought you would say that. So basically, you know, if there's no ex, there is a past situation, though, that maybe you're hanging on to a little bit. You're hanging on to the idea of it or the energy of it. And it's kind of like moving forward is the best thing for you. Because if you want to eventually get married, you know, then it's not going to be exactly the same as it is now. You're going to probably have changed and grown from this time to then. So it's kind of like there are things that you need to kind of let go of and move past. Release is a better word. The time has come to clear your energy. So there's certain things that you're just not cleared from yet, or you haven't allowed to clear from your energy. You probably know what these things are, unless, well, I mean, maybe you don't, with the way that you're kind of, I don't know, seemingly there's certain things that you are denying to yourself, or maybe just not really thinking about in a certain way. You know, you're focused on certain things that all these other things aren't making sense to you, but it's kind of, right? Yeah. There's certain things that we all need to kind of grow from and not just feel that it's always going to be the same way, you know? Let your friends help you. Excuse me. Ask and accept support from others. Nice. So yeah, if you're the type of person that kind of does things on their own always, it's like, you know, open up to the idea of somebody else being able to offer you help, you know. Sometimes we just can't. Maybe they'll help you to kind of see things that are hard for you to see, or admit to yourself, or take note of, or, you know, acknowledge is a better word. You know, and also if we're talking about love, or we're talking about, you know, career, whatever it is here that's trying to come out for you, I think it's important that you allow friends to help you with that as well. Like even acquaintances, get out there and meet some people, socialize, because you could get a job or a love, you know, a love interest that way through a mutual friend, you know, through socializing. You know, let your friends help you. It's important that you get out there and not just do everything on your own and not just isolate. Okay. Let's look at what's coming for career for you. If anything is coming for career. What does Tanya need to know about her career? What's important for her to focus on regarding her career? What could help her move toward a more fulfilling place regarding her career? What does she need to know about her career that would be helpful to her? Okay. Okay. I would say that you're waiting rather than taking action right now. Like you are waiting for or hoping for something to just kind of like be, or you're waiting for something to kind of like speak to you, or just kind of like make sense to you. Like you don't really, like you haven't really taken deliberate action in regards to your career. It's kind of like you're waiting for the perfect moment, or the perfect like idea, or the perfect thing that you just know that's what you want to do, or that's where you want to go. It's like, no, I mean, we don't just get to that. We don't just like some people do have a flash of insight and just all of a sudden become rich because of this some idea. But you know, it's not a good thing to like set that goal, you know, on that kind of a situation. You know, I feel like you haven't really taken a deliberate action because you don't exactly know what you want, or where you want to go, or where you want it to go with whatever you're doing. You know, you don't know where it ends or where it starts, or, you know, you don't know where it starts, and you might not even know where it ends. So it's like, you just don't know exactly what you want. And I think it's important for you to like not wait around for something, some magical thing to happen or spark within you. It's better if you kind of focus on a set goal and try to move towards that. The Magician, so it's kind of like you have what you need in order to what you would need to accomplish certain goals. I feel like you do have something that you want to do. Maybe you don't think that you can, or you don't think you have what it takes to do it, or you think you just like, oh yeah, that will never happen for me. I just, you know, I could never do that. But you can. That's why the Magician's coming out, because you manifesting whatever it is that you want to manifest is very possible for you. But it's like you don't see that. You think that you don't have enough. You think that you're not good enough, or you don't have what it takes, but you definitely do. You said, I am studying and have a set goal. Good. Good, good. Yeah, you should be able to reach that goal if you just focus on what you need to focus on, basically, which is manifesting it. But what are those things? Like, you can't just think, oh, it's going to happen, right? And it will, like, kind of like it's saying. you're studying, so that's good. So it seems like you're still like, it seems like you just need to kind of get into that mode of like, yeah, I'm going to do this, and kind of like just see it happen and stay on track. The Magician's here because it's saying you can manifest the things that you want. You can have them. It's just you need to like, oh, you need to know that. You need to acknowledge that and own that kind of a perspective on it. You know, don't doubt that, because it's just, you know, you're there. You have what it takes. You really don't need anything else in order to get it. Taking responsibility here, being very responsible. Maybe you have a problem kind of, you know, with being late, or, you know, just like turning in certain projects or something, or staying on track. Maybe you get, I don't know, I feel like like it would be like a Gemini kind of energy. Like you just get bored easily. You can't stay focused very long on one thing. It's just, you can't sit there and just study. It's like, you know, this is boring. And you kind of just, you need to like own your ability to like stay in something for a long period of time and actually build, you know, instead of just kind of studying one thing, studying another, and just getting over it, and not really having anything to look at, and, you know, not having anything to look at and be like, here's what I have to show for it, you know? Sag, you know, it's the same thing. That's the opposite of Gemini, by the way. But it's funny because the similarities would be how they don't want to sit in one place very long. They get bored really easily. They want to always be stimulated, you know, their mind, and, you know, other things too, but, you know, their mind. With Gemini, it's more the mind. You know, we're talking about Mercury, we're talking about air signs. Air signs are very mental, but with Sag, it would be kind of like you have to go and take action. You have to literally get up and move and, you know, explore and like find things that mean something to you, that makes life meaningful, and that just like, you know, is an experience, a new experience. You just have to kind of get out there, which kind of makes me feel the same. It's like, you know, I would say more than a Gemini, the Sag can like delve deeper into something and kind of like figure it out more for a longer period of time, you know, but like at the same time, they have that trouble with getting bored easily. I don't know, which part do you mean? You don't get bored easily, and you stay on track with things for a long period of time? Well, you must be very interested in the subject. Like I said, you know, Sag is able to do that a little better than Gemini is, but again, it would have to be something that like means something to you, or maybe you're doing it because it's what's expected of you. I don't know, but because that can be a thing that Sag does as well. But you know, I'm generalizing, so let's not do that. But that's what I'm doing. You could have an Earth Mars or an Earth Moon that would help you with that, to stay on track of things and stay focused on things and stay, you know, motivated to be doing something practical with your life. Because I'm just talking about Sag here. Obviously, you're more than just a Sag. So, all right, let's see. Hi, Samuel. But Sag, they still have that need to do something new and exciting, explore, you know, do different things, have new experiences, variety, kind of like Gemini. I don't have anyone on the wheel today. I'm actually not using the wheel today, Samuel, but I'm just going to try to kind of like take the influence of the full moon yesterday in Capricorn and try to show people, you know, what they need to know basically about having practical goals, how to reach those goals. And, you know, if you don't have any goals, then shit, make some, set an intention, you know? It's important for people to have fulfillment in life. A lot of people don't know that it is up to them to make things happen for themselves. They think life just hates them, or things are just not working out because they weren't meant to. And that could be true, but it's really, you know, there's still hope there, you know. And what can we do to reach these goals that we wanted to reach? We can still do that, but we have to know and acknowledge that it is up to us to make that happen. Really no one else but us. Tanya, you do have what it takes. I would say stick to that goal that you have, if you do have one. You said you have a goal. You said you're studying and you have a set goal. It looks like you have what it takes to reach that goal. I would say that you'll probably have more success in that within this next year, you know, if you stay focused on it, of course. You know, for some reason, I feel like that's maybe just because you're a Sag. I feel like you will kind of either get bored or want to do something else. Maybe you won't, but I feel like it's going to kind of, you're going to want to go and, you know, have variety in the situation, or have at least something that, you know, keeps your interest a little bit more. And, you know, maybe you can just have a side hobby if you find that what you're focused on is getting boring. And maybe if a side hobby, maybe it would, you know, help you to not feel like you have to change it up completely because you have that other thing that you're doing as well. So if you find that that happens, then try to focus on new hobbies or new things that you can still have that energy be expressed of you exploring and enjoying new things, new experiences, so that you don't fuck off everything that you've been working on. Okay. And we had a battery haul. Yeah. How does the Gemini woman feel about me? No communication, but I dream of them often. Let's see what's left here in this situation. Then we'll look at their feelings currently. I'll use this deck when I want to see what's like left between people, their energy. Like, are they going to, you know, like what's going to happen there? As of right now, of course, at any time it could change. Like I could tell you that you're going to reconcile and you'd be like, no, I never want to do that. Like I never will. And then you never do. It's obviously free will has a part to play in it. It's not like you have to do anything that the cards say. Funny that I would say that. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. So, interesting here. Worth waiting for, huh? Maybe it's not over yet, but you'll have to wait, it seems, a little bit for this to kind of, you know, rekindle if it does, if you allow it to. It seems like with worth waiting for here, it's like there's things that you need to kind of work out first in your life. There's things that need to kind of happen first before you can be together and make that work again, or make it happen in any type of way. It seems like worth waiting for, you know, so it's not just waiting in vain or waiting for nothing, just, you know, no changes. It's just, you know, they wanted it to be summertime, or they wanted it to be winter instead of summertime. No, it's like waiting for a reason. You know, there are certain reasons why it's just, you have to wait for this, but it's worth it, apparently. Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. So, like, don't forget about, you know, not all hope is lost, and be positive, even if it takes a while to get to that point where it reconciles, if it ever does, if you allow it to. Then it's important to just stay positive. Do not give up hope about your love life, you know, even if it's not with that person, which in this case, we're obviously, you know, looking at that. But if it's, you know, if it's not with that person, you decide not to do that because it is your choice, at least halfway, there's as well, then, you know, not all hope is lost. It's like there is romance that is going to happen for you. It's just, you have to know that. You have to kind of believe that, you know? And of course, you have to allow that. So, positive thinking and faith will bring you romance here. One more. It is safe for you to love. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So, it's either somebody new that you can feel safe to love, or that you are safe to love and give your love to, or it's talking about, you know, maybe the next time that you guys, you know, reconcile or give it a second chance, give it a go one more time. It's safe for you to love, it says. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. So open your heart, because when we get hurt, sometimes we'll be closed off and we won't give of our heart or ourselves very much, you know. And that's going to affect the whole entire relationship. If we're closed off, if we're distant, if we're like have these walls up, then we're not giving it, you know, our best shot. It's not really fair to the other person either, because they could be open while you're not, and that's causing problems and, you know, all of that. So let's look at their exact feelings today, as of right now, currently, if we can find that out. What is this person's feelings for him currently, or for her? I don't know if you're male or female. Battery Hall. You want to know how this Gemini is feeling about Battery Hall currently, today, right now. What are this Gemini's feelings about the situation for Battery Hall? The Devil. Okay, we have Capricorn energy. Doesn't have to mean there's a Capricorn involved, but there could be. Now, the Devil here is representing, you know, toxic, unhealthy patterns and feelings and emotions, and this tie, you know, you see these two people down here. In a different deck, in this big deck I have, you can see they're like literally chained to the Devil character in this card. So in this deck, it's not exactly the same, but it's the same effect of, you know, they are wrapped up in it. You know, they can't get away from it. They can't break free from it because it's just so consuming. And I feel like, you know, if they're distant from you now, it's interesting because they feel very tied to you still. But it's an unhealthy kind of tie. Like, it's something they feel they cannot break from, which is like, no one wants to be in that position. But, you know, that is the position it is. So, I mean, they could be thinking about you as well. It's just hard for them to kind of let it go. But, you know, they may be at the place where they know that it is better for them to not be involved, but they still have trouble, you know, breaking free from it emotionally. You know, there's a tie to you still. And it could be very frustrating because it's almost like an addiction, something they can't just shake. And it could be very frustrating because they would want that. They want that, they don't want to have something be in control of them or have a hold on them in that way. That's not a comfortable feeling always, you know? Okay, so 7 of Swords. Sneakiness, someone's stealing. Maybe they feel like you kind of like stole their heart, per se, I guess you could say. Or you were like sneaky about the way that you went about this, or maybe they were. But it seems like they're feeling like there was like sneakiness involved, like maybe they were like, maybe they, you know, felt, oh, exactly. 7 of Cups. So something was not what it seemed. That's what I mean by sneakiness. Like, they feel like they were kind of like either made to believe certain things or made to believe you were a certain way, or, you know, the mask eventually comes off and they feel deceived a bit. They feel like it was not what it seemed, or there were just a lot of options possibly for you or them. And so maybe they made the wrong decision in the option that they chose, or maybe they feel you made the wrong decision in the option that you chose. I feel deception, like they feel like there was something that wasn't what it seemed to them. And it wasn't just an accident, it was like a sneaky thing, you know, it was like a in depth. So there was a drastic change in the situation, and they do feel like it's either like nothing, like it cannot be the same again. Like, you could never really go back to what it was at one point. Whatever it was at one point that was very strong, it could never go to exactly that point again, just because of everything that's gone down between you. So it's almost as if a death had occurred in the relationship. You know, you cannot go and do what, you know, you can't be how it was. It can't ever be how it was at one time. You know, nothing can change that for them. A drastic change happened, and now they know that it will never be the same again. That's what they feel. And that doesn't mean you can't be together, but, you know, maybe it does. It's not exactly saying that. It's just saying literally they just know that it can never be the same again as it was at one point. And also the Death card represents endings, so this could be the end of this. you know, again, it's going to be whatever you guys allow. It says worth waiting for here. So if this tie, if this bind is strong enough, then maybe it can happen. You know, stay optimistic about your love life. It would be safe for you to love. Five of Swords, but there is somebody in the situation there, and it probably is them because we're asking about their feelings. Bitterness, resentment, anger, you know, wanting to win, like wanting to be on top. Maybe they feel humiliated. They feel like they were humiliated or done wrong, and that makes them feel bad about themselves. And they feel like now that's probably why it's saying it's safe for you to love and also be positive and, you know, stay optimistic and also worth waiting for, because for some reason, you know, the cards are saying this is worth waiting for, right? So step one. But at the same time, it's saying, you know, this person's very angry and bitter, feeling resentful, feeling humiliated, feeling like they were done wrong, and they don't want to be in that situation ever again, like with anybody. But that's probably why it's saying it's safe for you to love as well, because, you know, if it's not even talking about you in the future, it's talking about whatever love situation they're in. It will be safe for them to love. It won't be exactly what it was always. Like, it's not going to be the same situation again, even though we sometimes will treat situations that way to protect ourselves. But this person's, you know, pretty hurt about the whole situation. Even if you feel the same way, I mean, that's possible that you both feel the same way, you know, very hurt by it and very changed and affected by it. You know, it can never be the same again. Like, they can never be the same again, even, you know, not just you and them, but them on their own. So basically, you know, they might be feeling a little bit too like they want to get even, or like they want to get back at you for it, even if it's just like emotionally. They don't do anything to like literally hurt you, but they just want to win. They want to be the one on top. They don't want to feel humiliated and vulnerable and in that position of feeling like they were done wrong and bad about themselves, like they're weak or like they can't fight back or like they just have no other choice but to take this route that is, you know, making them feel like they are not worthy, you know, of love that is healthy or happy, you know. So it's very much just that bitterness and anger and resentment and humiliation, and just, you know, like this person wants to make sure that they won't lose again, if that makes sense. A lot of anger there still. I don't know if Nick is still here, but we're going to look into this, okay? Hi, you guys. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will get to you. If not tonight, then tomorrow night, but I will try to get to as many as I can tonight. And I'm talking to Evelyn, Battery Hall, Splash, and Tanya. Ara, Kathleen, Aries, I think you're already a subscriber, but hi. Maggie, Lucas, Muna, I know you're already a subscriber as well. Arby, okay. Thank you, Battery Hall. Thanks for your time and thanks for your question. So, Nick, we're going to look at this question for you. What is between you and Angel this summer? Hi, Maria. What is between Nick and Maria? What is between Nick and Angel this summer? Do we see them communicating? Got you. For sure, Maria, I will. Okay, Nick. What is between you and Angel? What can we expect this summer between you two? True love and getting to know each other. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. Okay, so we do see some heating up this summer. If you allow it, remember, we can refuse. You don't have to do these things that the cards suggest, but it looks like you guys will be getting to know each other. It says as you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. And so my advice to you with this card is try to be honest. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So I would guess that this is saying if you do not reveal your innermost selves to each other, you probably will get closer, but will your bond deepen? Don't be fake, be real. Because that would help your bond deepen, okay? So let's see here. Is divine timing at play in this? Will this happen? Like, of course, we can see situations that if this happened, then it would be a good thing. But sometimes other people don't see that like we see it, So will this happen? It says honeymoon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Okay. So I would say it's around a holiday. It doesn't necessarily mean honeymoon like after marriage, but enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. I would say it's probably near a celebrating, a holiday that you're celebrating, even if it's a birthday or something like that, but it's just, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So I would say, 4th of July is coming up, and what else? What other holidays? Maybe their birthday, your birthday, or some kind of celebration that you guys can enjoy together. So yeah, definitely you're going to be communicating this summer if you allow that to happen. Let's see. I know it's pretty straightforward, but I would say, yeah, there's going to be a spark. But, the thing is, like, if this doesn't take place and transpire, like, because they don't see it or divine timing, like, it's not supposed to happen, like, yet, or, they have a person they're dating or something, so it can't happen yet. Just know that it would happen if you allow it. Like, if you guys both want this, it would be something pretty intense, apparently, And so if this does take place, I would say, yeah, it's definitely going to be, if you guys do get to know each other, because the reason I say if is because we all have free will. We all, like, these are cards, okay? I mean, I'm looking at what the cards are saying, and if we allow these things to take place, then yes. But we can choose to go a whole different route. So, I mean, they're part of that as well. So if they have something crazy that happens and they have to leave for the summer, you guys never get to talk, then obviously this would change the whole outcome of the situation. But if you guys both allow each other to kind of get to know each other, as the cards are saying is a good idea, or what will happen, then yeah, we can see this becoming something deeper than it is now. So 10 of Wands, okay. Yeah, so basically you are putting so much pressure on yourself because of the worries that you have and the fears you have because of the past, how you've been hurt and screwed over like most of us have, right? But because of your certain hurts here, you are carrying so much weight and burden on your shoulders, and you're not even allowing this to really get to a point where it would be fulfilling because you're so worried about being hurt and, in this position that you've been in many times, and so it's a lot of weight that you're putting on your own shoulders. You're not really allowing this whole thing to kind of manifest in a way and unfold in a way that's, that could be fulfilling. I feel like you put the brakes on it because of your worries and fears. So try to just, like, in a lighthearted way approach this, and don't put everything into it, because, once you start to worry, you start to screw yourself over because of, the way you act or the things you do and the ways that, maybe even expressing yourself is kind of limited, or you put a break on that but remember, it said you're supposed to do that. Open up to each other, reveal your innermost selves. So if you're worried about being hurt and then you don't reveal your innermost self, that could affect your situation, and that's why that's there. So collaboration, exchanging of ideas here with the 3 of Pentacles. So exchanging of ideas doesn't mean you're listening and not talking. It doesn't mean that you're talking and not listening. It means both. You're putting both You know, you're putting in effort both ways. You're exchanging. Sorry, my iPad died. So we're going to have to, you know, continue like this. So you're exchanging ideas though. You know, you aren't just, it's not one or the other, it's both. So make sure you keep that in mind. Make sure you give the information of yourself and also like listen and get to know them. You know, don't just be like closed off, because that's not going to work. It's not going to get you to this point where you're wanting to go, where it's showing that it can go. So these are some issues that are being brought up for a reason. You know, this is something that you might want to, you know, think about, because it's probably, you know, an issue for you for, you know, you've been hurt in the past before, and that's why this is coming up like this. She's saying, hey, you know, this is going to be a problem again. These things have not been resolved, so you have to think about that when that time comes. Hopefully you're able to not allow it to affect the situation to where you don't open up or be yourself, you know, and you let your fears take over, you know, because that will change things. You know, and when I say open up, I don't mistake it. Don't, you know, get me wrong. I'm not saying give yourself completely to this person that you know, haven't really gotten to know yet. Like, you never know what their intentions are with it. It could go in a way that is, you know, obviously harmonious and good for the both of you. But then, of course, if they're not there yet and they're, you know, not in that energy that you're in for their highest good and yours, then obviously, you know, you can't just trust anybody. You know, and I don't think you should just give up yourself completely without knowing this person. But, you know, just don't be held back. And again, lighthearted, like, don't put everything you have into this, because if you do get hurt, you want to make sure that you'll be okay and that you don't feel like you got hurt because of how much you opened up. Because it's not about us opening up and getting hurt like we opened up too much. It's really about what we are putting into it. Like, we can be ourselves and tell people what our goals, aspirations, and, you know, hopes and dreams are, and what we want in a situation, what we feel we need in a relationship. But if they hurt us, it's not like they hurt us because we, you know, told them all of these things and gave of ourselves like that, or allowed them to see that side of us and what we truly are about. It's really having more to do with them. And, you know, it's not because we opened up. It's because, you know, they're, for whatever reason they did it for, but it's not your fault for opening up. It's not like you deserved it because you opened up, and now the next time you're in a relationship, you just shouldn't open up and you should just be closed up. Like, that's not going to change that, who they are, you know? Okay, let's see. Period. Hi, Sydney. I like that. Period. Yeah, enough said. Are they single right now? Or are they currently in a relationship? Waiting for love? Wanting to manifest it. Okay. Okay, I do feel like they are single, but there is somebody that they do have on their mind from their past. They're waiting for love to take place, and not only love, could be Gemini person. You said they're a Gemini, or was that somebody else? I think that was the one before me, or one before you, the last reading. But either way, I see Gemini energy. Doesn't mean that you are or they are Gemini, but that's the, or, you know, it could be the person that they're thinking about, but it doesn't have to be. It's also the lovers. So then we're seeing here wanting to manifest something. from the past that they can't really let go of, and you know, they could just be holding on to something. And then, you know, it's saying like, you know, like they just know. It seems like you would have known. Maybe you don't know about their ex, or this person that we're talking about here that they can't let go of, but it's, you know, the high priestess knows intuitively without being told. So I feel like if, you know, this situation arises, you'll know about it intuitively, or you'll feel like there is something like this going on, or you'll just kind of like understand what I'm saying, like what I'm talking about for whatever reason. Like the high priestess, like it's just seemingly that you'll be understanding of what's happening. You know, if you get involved with this person, you'll know like whether or not they have somebody on the side, or like whether or not they can't get past something. So yeah, I mean, it could be you, of course, if you guys do have a past. And they're wanting to start like a new, you know, thing with the person. They want to give to the person, and they want the person to give to them, like this exchange here, but also, you know, they want to like share with each other, but that's what they're hoping for. But then it's, you know, a new beginning. So it could be your guys' connection if you do feel like there was like somewhat of a past there. But I would also say with the Empress, watch for pregnancy, okay? Because, you know, she is that card of pregnancy, but doesn't have to be. It's just, you know, something to be aware of for yourself. Either way, whether or not she was there or not, that's something you should be careful with. It's a very serious thing, obviously. But yeah, I think that they're obviously not able to let something go, and they're kind of focused on that. But it seems that as of now, they are not connected to anybody. So, I was going to do a certain person. Are you still here? Maria? Maria? Is Maria still here? Like I said, lighthearted, don't put too much into this before you know it's a good idea. Okay. If Maria's still here, can you post your question, please? Right. You're welcome, of course. Thanks, Nick. Thanks for being here and participating, and thank you for your question and your time. Love seeing you. Okay, is Maggie still here? Is Maggie still with us? If Maggie is still here, please post your question, love. Is Maggie still here? Oh, right on. Okay, hang on one second. Okay. You said, what are Virgo's intentions and feelings towards me? Okay. Yes, of course, Sydney. Of course. If you stick around long enough, and if you're still here by the time I get to you, yes. So I guess it's up to you if you get a reading or not tonight, because if you're still here in a few, then yes. Okay, so what are Virgo's intentions toward you and feelings toward you currently, if any at all? What are Virgo's intentions and feelings toward Maggie currently? If any at all, what are Virgo's feelings and intentions toward Maggie, if any at all? Oh, it's a karmic connection. So you're going to learn from it. And I say that because the tower here, it's like definitely there is change and there's life. There's life changes and there's things that just occur that really shake it up for you. You know, both of you. It's like, whoa, what just hit me? Because you need, and it's probably because you guys aren't making certain changes in your lives, or you aren't specifically. But since this is their thoughts and feelings, I think they feel this connection is like, it's something that really changed things for them. It really, like, a lot of things have changed since then, and a lot of things have, since you've met each other and since you've gotten involved, and every step along the way, just from the beginning, things have changed a lot. And so, it's a karmic connection because you're supposed to learn from it. These big changes in your life, yeah. This is Taurus, but we're also talking here about like possibly commitment, maybe marriage, that is the marriage card really, but if not marriage, we're talking about commitment. So let's see what changed here. Something happened very quick or with force, like without, like no one could really stop it from happening. It kind of just happened, and then there was nothing that you could really do about it. It kind of just came in with a vengeance, like with not a vengeance, but with force. Like you couldn't really put a stop to it. It was just like it was just happening all of a sudden. We do see that they kind of like were a caring person in your life. Yeah, love. Okay. Ace of Cups. We're definitely talking about a situation that had a lot of potential for love to be there. And, maybe there still is potential, but let's see why that's there. Because King of Cups and Ace of Cups, it's like talking about, yeah, there's definitely a lot of emotion here being given, but a lot changed. So what are their current, like, what do they want to happen? I would say that even though a lot's changed, it's like, I don't think that they're past it. They kind of want to make things happen quick, soon, like without, like yesterday, like they would have done this if they could have already. It's like, come on, like, let's just make this happen. So what is going to happen here? What do we need to know basically about this connection? If there's anything you're overlooking or not kind of paying attention to or acknowledging? Yeah, of course. The devil. Capricorn energy, but also, again, like I was talking about, it didn't show it in the last deck, but it does in this one. They're chained here to this devil character, you see? They're chained to him because it's a tie that you just can't like break like that. 10 months no contact. So I wouldn't doubt that this is definitely still one of these things, because it just feels like you can't get over it. It just feels like you don't want it out of your life, like you just can't get past it and you just can't forget. And that's there because the devil is a son of a bitch. But not only that, but it's it's almost like an addiction. It's just something you can't just like brush off of you, and that's because you're chained rather to it, but it's unhealthy for you in that way. It's not really a good feeling to be so tied to something that, especially that you're not in contact with anymore, but you still feel the need to be tied to it for some reason. It's just kind of like odd. It's confusing. You're like, why is this happening? You know, it's not very comfortable sometimes for people, you know. You may feel different, but I feel like it's not comfortable. It's kind of negative in your life, you know, because you can't to be consumed by something that, you know, you have no control over. Seemingly, it feels like, you know. What's the Six of Pentacles here for? Taking action. And what are you trying to say with this? What do we need to know? You guys might come together to celebrate something. You might see each other at a social gathering, or maybe a mutual friend gathering, like mutual friends of yours put something together. But I feel like if you do see each other soon, it will be, or, you know, again, not necessarily again, but, you know, I feel like maybe the next time you see each other, it will be like communicate. It will be something that maybe friends put together or was social. Like, it wasn't like you guys decided to meet here at this time and just communicate with each other. It's like you kind of just see each other there. But it's kind of saying what you need to know is that, like, the next time you guys take action toward each other, you need to be more giving. Like, you need to not expect so much, and also be willing to lend a hand. Like, be willing to, like, balance that energy instead of just feeling like you were done wrong and you deserve, you know, whatever it is for that. You know, don't be expecting so much. Like, and if that's too hard for you to do, then, like, try to loosen your grip on what you're expecting from this, because it's obviously a thing that you guys both need to kind of work together on, you know, exchanging the give and the take, and not just giving, not just taking, but being equal, balanced, and balancing it out. So not just like expecting too much and not just giving too much either, you know, but doing both as like a friend or as an acquaintance that they are. Even with the past that you have, it's like you got to be fair about it, and also be honest in your dealings with them. Be honest, because you'll both know. You can't bullshit a bullshitter, but also you'll both know if it's bullshit, you know. But there will be opportunities to take action toward this. I do feel like, though, it will be like more than one person there. It won't just be you guys, and it won't be for the sole purpose of just, you know, you guys communicating. So I don't think that he will contact you to make that happen. It's more like it will happen and then. But let's see what happens afterwards. Like, what's the communication going to look like? Okay. It looks like there's hope here with the star. I mean, have faith, you know. Again, don't put all your eggs in one basket or hope or expect, you know, everything to just fall into place and be perfect, because then you'll be disappointed, obviously, because it's not saying you guys will be back together or anything. It's saying, like, you'll see each other at some point, and just make sure that you are remembering to, like, give them the respect that you want in return, basically. Even if they aren't able to do that at that time, they just don't do that. They don't show you respect. Like, still do that yourself. Like, don't be that person. Don't be that, you know, don't be that immature or like I'm going to do it because you're doing it kind of thing. You know, just be respectful. Be what you would want in return, even if they're not doing that. You know, just try to play it in that kind of way. Like, be respectful. Just treat them how you'd want to be treated, you know, obviously. Here we do have that it's kind of like a young energy here, kind of immature, kind of not very developed, or not very like mature necessarily, because it's a page and he's the youngest of the court cards here in the deck, but it's pentacles. So, I mean, it's at least it's focused on like stability and, you know, security, like things that are like gonna help you to feel more stable, you know, but you have a lot of options about ways you can go about this. So it's like you have hope and you have a lot of options and you have a good head on your shoulders about it, but it's still the early stages of it. So it's like, I would say that, you know, it's too early to tell. Like, it just depends how you act on it and how they act on it. Obviously, they have to meet you halfway and, you know, contribute to the situation as well. But I think you have a lot of options in the way you can go about it and the things you can do about it. And if you even want to go about it, there's other options that you can go towards, you know, instead of them. So it's like you have a lot of opportunities and a lot of options. And it's like, choose wisely, because the first one you go with may not be the right one. You may feel like, oh, I know exactly what I want to do. Probably not that one, because it's like there's so many options that you just have to kind of like figure out which one is best instead of just going towards the one you want the most. It may not be the best option. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say by that. Okay. Again, don't put everything you have into it though, because it's not necessarily saying anything is going to be happening between you yet. It's just basically like that's what the next time you communicate is. Try to be respectful of them, even if they're not that way. Even if they're not mature towards you, it's still important that you are that way. Because you don't want to just be like that person who's just immature like that. It's never going to work out that way. You guys can either have a good time or a time that's like bitter and like trying to get back at each other and this little kid shit, Even if there's hurt feelings, it's like just better to rise above all of that if you can. Mm-hmm. Of course, and thank you for your question and your time, Maggie. Lovely to see you again. Hi, Dr. Victor. Okay. Sydney. And thank you, Maggie, you as well. That's funny. Okay. Okay. I would like to know if this man, this Leo, I'm Taurus. We have been together for a year, and I want to know if our relationship will even work out, or should I move on from it? Well, that is going to be up to you, my dear, but let's see what we have to talk about here. So, I feel like that's kind of like, oh wow, that is a lot better, isn't it? Oh my god, wow. Needed to do that for a while, apparently. Okay. So, I would like to know if this man, this Leo and Taurus, da, da, da. Let's see. Oh, let's see. I'm sorry about that, Sydney. Let's see what's going on with you guys. That was crazy. That's a crazy difference, isn't it? Wow. Okay. So let's see. I just really want to know if this relationship should keep going. Okay, let's. What are the issues at hand, and can we resolve them? Is this worth your time? I will use the Romance Angels Oracle as well for you, and thanks for being here. Thanks for your question. Let's see what's happening. Okay. So we're talking about new beginnings, a fresh start, possibly even pregnancy. So be careful if that's not something that you want. We do see, somebody not being committed to this. This is probably you just because you're asking this question. I do feel like maybe you're kind of like questioning if you even want to be in the situation anymore, which is fine. You should acknowledge whether or not that's actually something that you're feeling, or if you're feeling that they're feeling that's just a defense of yours or whatever it is. To me, it kind of feels like you're about ready to be done with it. And you're kind of questioning, like, is it worth it? You're kind of worried about, like, leaving it. And obviously, because, it has been a year and you just don't know if that's the right decision for you. But that is something you're already considering doing. So that's important to, acknowledge. And so actions here. Someone will be taking action and possibly leaving the situation because they're not too committed to it, even though somebody wants a fresh start. See, this is the thing with the Hermit card here. You're going to need to, ultimately, you're going to need to take that time to yourself and figure that out. Is this something that you want, or is this something that, like, what do I need to do? Where am I at right now with this? And what do I feel? Because it seems like you're kind of like asking, well, me obviously, but you're asking like if this is worth your time, but really you should already know the answer to this. And I'm not trying to say like, you're wrong to have asked. I'm just saying like putting the power back in your hands, like trying to understand like, is this right? Because you know your life better than I do, right? And in that way, because of that reason, you should be able to answer this question yourself. But I understand why you can't, because you need to take some time to yourself. You don't know what you want right now and or what's best for you, but that's something that once you have that time to yourself, you will know what the right answer is, and it will be very clear to you. While you're doing that meditation or that alone time, that journaling, that taking time to yourself, because outside influences with the Hermit, outside influences are not important. They don't matter. And it's not about that. It's about what you want and feel is best for you. And that should become very clear after some time on your own, meditating or journaling or whatever it is that you need to do to get with yourself and have that self-reflection period. A day, a month, a year. I mean, it doesn't matter how long you need to do it for. It's just until you feel that you've done enough of it. And so slow down, get right with yourself, have a talk with yourself, basically, because I feel like you haven't done that in a long time. That's why you're kind of not sure what to do, because you should know what you want, but you don't know. You're like, okay, you're like, is this the best thing? Like, is this the right person for me, kind of thing? So let's see. What are the issues at hand here? And yes, we'll look into pregnancy as well. What are the issues at hand here, and what do they need to know about the future of this relationship together with this person? Judgment. So, okay. I think you're kind of confused as to what you really want. I think on the one hand, you know what you want, but you also feel like if you want those things, if those things are true, then you already know what you need to do. But because you don't want to make that stark decision, like right now, you're weighing your options. And so what I mean by that is because the judgment card is here, it's saying use your better judgment. And so it's like obviously right, but then we have the Two of Pentacles weighing options. But why is this here? It's because you're working very hard at trying to find and trying to, move towards the things that are really what you want. Like the Nine of Cups here, they're filled to the brim. This is everything you want. And, you'll take more if you can get it. Like it feels good. It's something that you want. But it's only you here, it's no one else. And you're working very hard to get to this point. And so because of that, I feel like you do know already what you want. And that conflicts with what this relationship brings to your life, or that conflicts with the situation currently. And, probably the relationship in general. Like you feel like you can't do and get truly what you are wanting to eventually have or get, or the point you want to be at in this situation. So you're weighing your options, and it's saying to use your better judgment, because if you do really want these things with the Nine of Cups here, you're going to have to eventually make that choice. And so you can't be held back by it forever. You do have to work very hard at getting to that point. But one of the ways there is to, obviously get past all these obstacles. And if this relationship is one of them, you just have to be real with yourself about that. And that's why the Hermit card is there, because you're going to have that moment of self-reflection. Thank you so much. You're the best. Where's Victor? Okay, so I feel like you kind of already know the answer to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think if you are going to actually reach the point in life that you see yourself at, like all of the things that you want and need, you already know this relationship is not part of that. I think that's how I feel. This is, like you need to use your better judgment, because the options you're weighing go between you getting all of these things that you want, but it's kind of like almost being single, it looks like, because it's just about you there. Like maybe you have to be single for a while to get to that point, and then you have someone, you can allow someone into your life that's a little more your style, or where you're at that time, because you're in the place you want to be. You're not with somebody for any other reason than because this is, adding to your life and you guys are good for each other, because you're already at the place you want to be. It's just adding to your life. It's not like you need it to feel more whole. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at pregnancy for you. And then we'll use the Romance Angels Oracle, okay? So let's look at the Empress card for her. Do you see pregnancy happening with this person that she's currently with now? What do we see in regards to any pregnancy or any kind of... okay. I'm going to go out on a whim. I mean, I don't really do yes or no's, but we're asking about pregnancy and the Empress comes out. So it's like, be careful with that. I would, it's likely, it's very highly likely, or it's very, it can definitely happen. There's definitely a good chance of that happening. So, yeah, be careful with that. That's kind of like a confirmation more than I ever thought I would get. It's like kind of, how am I going to see like what this is, trying to say, and boom, that's, I mean, there's no, yeah, it's likely. It's definitely possible. So, if that's not something you're wanting, again, be careful with that, because whoa, that was pretty clear confirmation. I think I get what it's trying to say with that Empress there. So Yeah, it's likely. It's definitely possible. So be careful. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility there. Wow. I don't think I've ever gotten that, like that, like in such a way that it's basically like yes. I mean, like it's definitely it can happen. If you allow it to. I mean, knowing what you know now, you can definitely take precautions. But if you do want it to happen, then you can go for it. I mean, yeah, it's it's definitely possible. And hey, maybe that will bring you together. Maybe that will change things for you since you're wanting that. And if you want a child and then like you get pregnant, maybe this relationship will change. Like if whatever your goals are, maybe it's not even. Maybe it's saying that it's going to be with somebody else, and that's why this person's not supposed to be in your future plans and goals. But if it is something you want, and then it happens with this person, maybe they'll turn into being part of what you actually do see yourself being involved in later on. As of right now, I feel like your goals really don't involve that person, but like if you were to go for exactly what you want, but if you want a child and then it happens with them, then maybe they're part of that. But again, just because you have a child with them doesn't mean they're part of people. I hate to say that, but it's like people don't always stick together just because they have kids, but it's kind of like whatever you want to do, for some reason, I feel like does not involve them. But if you do want a child and then it happens with them, then that would change things for sure, right? Unless, of course, they don't want that. And then they're not part of it. That would obviously X them out. And that would suck. But maybe it would be really for the best because if they're that person, then you know, I don't want that kind of person around. Maybe it's them who isn't fertile. That's what I'm saying. Like maybe it's just not with them because that can't happen with them, maybe. Hmm, for sure. Sorry, this brownie is just like my life right now. Oh yeah, romance angels. This could actually tell us too if it'll be with this person you're asking, right? I want to know if it'll be with this person. Oh wait, my sign is Virgo. My sun sign is Virgo. My moon sign is Pisces, so it's opposite Virgo, which can be kind of a bitch. But if you are born on, if your sun sign is opposite your moon sign, that means you were born on a full moon. So yay! My friend actually is a Capricorn. Yesterday was a Capricorn full moon. So I guess, I mean, that would be a good energy to be in, I feel like, when you're born on that. It's not like you're a lunatic. It's like you feel better in that way. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but it's like I'm crazy every other day of the week. But when it's the full moon, that's when I feel best. That's when I feel sane. That's what I was born on. But also my rising sign is Scorpio, so you might be feeling that vibe because it's the ascendant. You are then a Taurus. Taurus. My mother was a Taurus. My friend's daughter is a Taurus. The one that was born on a full moon, her daughter's a Taurus. So, yeah, you know, it does. I don't personally believe in cusps, only because, you know, a very well-known astrologer, Linda Goodman, she doesn't believe in cusps. You know, she says, like, it's either this day or that day. And, you know, based on the time you were born, you can actually see when it switches over and, like, you know, so, I mean, it is either one or the other, literally. But we have so many other signs and planets with signs and aspects that, you know, that it really, we don't even need to have a cusp. Like, if you act like you're a little bit of a couple signs, like, it's not just because your sun's sign is on a cusp. It's because, like, we have all these different signs, and, you know, everyone is a little bit of everything in a way, like, and some things more than other things. So I wouldn't say that if you feel like you're kind of both of those signs, that it's because of that. I think it's because of other things. You know, there's so many other signs in your chart. Yeah, I love Linda Goodman. She's really great. She's on it with that, with astrology. So, did you want me to pull a card on like whether or not it'll be with the person that you're with now, or if it will happen at all? Well, let's see what's going on in general. Like, what do we need to know about this connection between them? Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Okay. What do we need to know about this connection that she has with this person she's with now? What is left there and what is to come with them? Do we see pregnancy? That's what we really want to know. Do we see pregnancy with the person with now? The person. Do we see any kind of pregnancy or child with the person that she's with? What do we need to know about the specific connection that she's in now? What is between them? What is to come? Finance and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Okay. Can you see that? I'm like the queen of glare. I'm sorry. This cat is like crazy. You said it is though. Okay. All right. Hello. Okay. Calling in your soulmate. Your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. So, I would say this is touching on, you know, you have to manifest it. You have to see it happen. Like, whatever it is that you want and dream of, manifest that shit. Like, believe, like, see it in your mind and, like, believe with everything that you have it can happen. And so that's why it's saying your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations will help bring you together. So it's like, even if it's not with this person, we're asking about them, but, you know, see it happen, believe it can happen. And that's like prayer, you know, praying, visualizing, affirming, manifesting it, basically is what it's saying. So have a specific thing that you want. Have a dream, have a goal, have a, you know, of course, like if it doesn't happen, you know, we don't want like you to be completely just disappointed and hurt by that. But it's like, that's what it's saying when it's saying your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together, because that's manifesting what you really want. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. Do you guys have differing or similar religious views or spiritual views. Because it seems that you are affected by this in your love life. Your love life is affected by it, by these things. So tell me about this connection. Do we see any pregnancy happening here with the person she's currently with, who is a Leo person? Do we see pregnancy? Let your friends help you ask for and accept support from others. Okay, one more. Oh, wow. Tell us about the person she's currently with and if you see any kind of pregnancy or any kind of birth of a child together with the person that she's currently with. Who's a Leo person. We want to know what we need to know about the connection. Unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. And so we're talking here about the last card, right? And we happen to get this one. So, interesting. It seems as though, since we also had calling in your soulmate, it seems as though this relationship is an opportunity for you to actually figure out and to discover what you actually are looking for in a person. Because unrequited love, first of all. Second of all, calling in your soulmate, your affirmations, prayers, visualizations will help bring you together because you see this situation and you decide, okay, like this is what I'd have. Like I wouldn't want that again. This is what I'd rather have. This is more of me. This is more my style. This is more something that I would feel good in. And then you visualize that and you make it happen. But it's like this relationship calling in your soulmate because this relationship helps you discover what that is, what it looks like to you, what you'd feel what you would feel most comfortable, you know, who you would feel most comfortable with. I think it may be karmic. It may be, you know, a situation you're supposed to learn from, something that is supposed to be meaningful. For sure, you will never forget it, but it kind of just it helps you to evolve and discover what you really want and leads you to what you really need. You know what I mean? So we don't say anything about pregnancy. It doesn't mean it can't happen, but I just think that there probably is somebody else that we're talking about here with that. And so yeah, it kind of seems like that's what it's saying, you know? I had a feeling with yellow skiff when I read that again. I was like, wait, like, what was he talking about? Like, he or she. That's funny that you say that because I'm like, I think that was to the cat. Well, hi. No buzz. Okay, so. And it's kind of seeming like there might be another person that comes along. I don't know. I mean, we have yet to find out, I guess. And I want you to keep me updated on this. Remember, affirming, visualizing, praying, seeing it in your own mind happening, and then visualizing it, praying for it. You know what I mean? Like actually like doing this work, like affirming it, claiming it already is yours, like happening, you know? And if it really isn't meant to happen, like it won't. But if it is, you can help yourself and work at that. I mean, obviously, like we can't always just wish and then it comes true. I'm not talking about wishing though. I'm talking about like you having a child. And if you can't get pregnant, that doesn't mean you can't have a child. You know, I mean, Manifestation. Exactly. Exactly. Those brownies are damn good. Aw. Thank you for your question. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being here. Whoever's here now, can you please like this video if you guys get a chance? I'd really appreciate that. Also, subscribe if you haven't already. And let's get some more questions answered here. Okay. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Lynn. Mm-hmm. Sorry. Okay, Evelyn. Let's see. Well, let's use the Romance Angels Oracle for this too. Let's start off with that. Will I meet a significant other this year that Evelyn wants to know? Okay. Evelyn wants to know, will you meet a significant other this year? What's Evelyn's love life looking like this year? What do we see happening for her in love? Evelyn, you want to know what's happening in love for Evelyn this year? Playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Okay. So be lighthearted. Be playful. Don't take everything so seriously. Have fun, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. So let's see. Anything else we need to know about love for Evelyn this year? So it looks like there could be an encounter. There could be some kind of situation here that goes down. What else do we need to know about love for Evelyn this year? Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So maybe it's just not the time for you to be all putting everything into, a situation like that. That's why it's like you're supposed to have fun. This person's supposed to add, joy to your life, maybe, and not take things so seriously. In a way, it can be karmic as well in that way, because it's like there to teach you something. Like to lighten up and have more fun and not take everything so seriously is what I feel here. So give us one more for Evelyn and her love life this year. True love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So that could be because, if it is karmic, it could be because you'll never forget it. It could be because it really helps you to find like what makes you happy in life, even if it doesn't last forever. Like maybe it will, but I mean, if it doesn't, it's still like the romance of a lifetime because you never forget it, and it really helps you to find yourself and figure out the things you like to do, be more comfortable with yourself, or like just whatever things that it helps you discover or teaches you. It is the romance of a lifetime because it helps you in these ways that really changes you for the better. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily like the one. It could be though. It could be. But it seems more like it's a short-lived kind of like fun experience that teaches you a lot about yourself. And that's why I feel like it could be karmic for you. And, we have so many karmic relationships, you guys. We have a lot of karmic relationships like in our lifetime. It's not just like love, it's just people we meet that teach us something about ourselves and help us to grow and evolve. That's karmic. Sometimes they are not good experiences or positive experiences, but they're always there to teach us, and they're always there to help us grow, evolve, and reach a place where we basically are evolved. More evolved growth, change, but for the better. It doesn't always happen that way though, but that's like what we hope would happen. And there's so many of them, it's not just love. Someone fucks you over. Oh yeah, it's karmic. Because you're supposed to learn from it. Do you see these cats? Jeez. Oh my god. Oh. Want to see him? He's a little baby. Say hi. Hi. And this one. You're so cute. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Oh my god, it's so funny. These cats are crazy. It's just ridiculous. It really is. Ah! Oh my god. Okay. They're not gonna stop. What's a tuxedo cat? It could be. Shit, I have no idea. What's a tuxedo cat? I'm gonna look it up really quick. I don't know. Oh, that's what a tuxedo cat is. Wow. Oh, so the white chest is what you mean. Is that what it is? Bicolor cat. Piebald. White fur combined with fur of some other color, for example, black or tabby. There are various patterns of bicolor cat. These range from Turkish van or van patterned through to solid color with a throat locket. Yeah, I think all my cats are like that, actually. Well, not all of them, actually, but we have quite a few tuxedo cats. Yeah. And then one of them is like, oh, Chip. He's just the best. We have Felix and Luna, and I don't think Allie's tuxedo. She's probably just tabby or something, I think. It all started with Alley Cat. Found her in the alley. She followed my boyfriend home when, she just cried for him, and it was all, the rest is history. Now we have like 8 of them. Not even kidding. Yeah, it's a lot, but we have hearts, so we cannot say no to a baby cat who's like dying out there. Which kind of sucks because it's like there's so many. And it's not cheap. But again, because we have hearts, we just can't say no. So, quick question. Keep saying 1111. I really don't know anything about numbers like that. Like, I don't know that much about, numbers in general. You can look it up, as numerology and everything. Personally, if I see 1111 myself, I'll make a wish and all that. But like, if I see it a bunch of times, like, okay. Well, I mean, Renee's answer kind of sounds nice. Like, I don't really know, like, personally, like, I don't really like specialize in numbers or anything. So I can't, like, I don't know. It could, but there's people out there who do specialize in that. So, I mean, I'd look for that. Also, if anyone's interested in like twin flame type stuff, Michelle Fondin on YouTube. Michelle Fondin is like the expert in everything, twin flame, soulmate, all of that stuff. I mean, just everything you need to, any question you have, she's got a video on it. So Michelle Fondin, if you guys are interested in anything like that, she's the one to go to. And then you guys, if you haven't checked out Moon Honey yet, she's a upcoming tarot reader, up and coming, growing. You know, she's very new. Not very, very new, but she's new, and she's really, really good. I mean, I like her a lot, and you guys should subscribe to her and check her out, like her videos, and just check her out, show her some love. And also Secrets of the Typical Emo Witch. Secrets of the Typical Emo Witch. Secrets of the Typical Emo Witch. It's kind of long, but she's good too, and you should check her out as well. There are some other ones. I think it was like the Love Messages Co. is one of them that I was recently watching that I really liked. Yeah, Michelle Fondon, yeah. And I'm in LA time as well. My time is LA time as well. So yeah, it's 3:30 in the morning. But which is why I'm probably gonna sign off here right now. But thanks for being here though, you guys. Can you go ahead and like this video if you haven't done that already? And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you doing not subscribing? Don't forget to do that, because I want to see you guys tomorrow night or tonight. I want to do this again, so I hope to see you guys there. And if I have not answered your question tonight, then be there tonight again when I go live again. I'm going to try to do 11 o'clock p.m. I've been way later than that lately. It's been harder for me to like set up in the way that I feel is right. Like it's just good enough. So, but I'm going to try to be there at 11 o'clock tonight, if not 12. But I mean, I'm going to really shoot for 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So be there, be square. All right, love you guys. Thank you. Couldn't do this without you, so you know, I'd be talking to myself right now if you weren't here. I do, you know, try to acknowledge that. So thank you for being part of this and participating. And come back tonight and let's do this again. Okay?